I like to study mountains just because they're there. They punctuate an otherwise boring land surface, I think. We have these features that seemingly come out of nowhere. They impact everything that we do. They impact travel. They allow us for fantastic recreation abilities. They stop migration of animals and they affect atmospheric circulation. They're just kind of fundamental to our day-to-day life. So just the fact that they're there and the fact that they do all these things, I think is pretty cool. My principal research area is looking at mountain building. In order to do that, most of the field work that I do is centered around the Nepalese Himalaya. We go to the Himalaya because it provides a natural laboratory for us to look at present-day forces that are causing mountains to rise up. One of the reasons that we're not doing it here in Canada or in BC is because the mountains here, the Rockies and the coastal mountains, aren't really actively forming. These are things that formed millions of years ago. So by going to the Himalaya, we can actually relate what's happening now on kind of the global tectonic scale to how mountains form. The idea of deep time or geologic time is one of the most difficult things for the general public to understand. Just the thought that the Himalaya only represent the last 50 million years of Earth's history, whereas we have former mountain ranges in northern Saskatchewan that are 1.8 billion years old. So this concept of having this massive time scale just is a very difficult thing to translate, unfortunately. We have some specialized equipment here at UBC Okanagan that allows us to take a rock from some mountain belt somewhere. So we look at things at the big scale, get a sample of that rock, bring it back here, and look at the details of that rock at the microscopic scale. And those details can tell us about all sorts of different things. We take that microscopic scale detail and blow it back up to make large-scale interpretations about how these massive mountains actually formed. A lot of the research that we're conducting in the Himalaya now, the processes that we're finding out are helping to build mountains, a lot of that stuff is now being applied to back here in BC and in Western Canada. So there are researchers now that are looking at those same processes for how the mountains around us here formed. So the advances that we're making in the Himalaya can be applied directly to the areas that we're standing on right now. Understanding the processes behind mountain formation and why mountains exist at all is just kind of fundamental to understanding our own physical environment. It's key to understanding so many different things that affect our physical world.